decided to participate in the local government Citizens Academy because I wanted to learn a little bit more about how local government works behind the curtain. And I've been involved in politics for quite a while, but didn't really see the function of government in my political life.
Pretty amazing that it was a free, open thing. Granted, it was sort of exclusive, but that doesn't mean it can't happen more than once.
I was really impressed when we got to go to the fire department and see how the firemen put out fires, and the police department, had all their equipment, and I even learned CPR.
The session that surprised me the most was the session on stormwater. I think that something like that is not something I'd ever considered.
So the session with Missoula Redevelopment Agency was probably one of my favorite sessions. A lot of detail that goes into that, and a lot of unknown information that's out there that we were able to learn through the course of that session.
Well, I feel the initial course, or the initial academy course, really opened up my mind as to what the journey was going to be like, and yet every week I was so surprised. Every week it felt like a stair step.
Many times people come with preconceived notions about how a budget is arrived at, and where we might have our own particular beliefs that, maybe we're overspending here or overspending there. So had we taken the opportunity maybe at the beginning to just give a quick overview, and then as we go through the various departments, seeing what they do and how it actually interacts with the budget could be very helpful.
Our system is so underfunded that we have to design our government as a complaint-driven system.
Budget is most difficult for me, but to give it context, I guess that gave the budget session a lot of context for me. All these things need to function, and we also learned how difficult it is and how underfunded a lot of these services are.
Creating a budget and using all these different resources that are limited in nature can really stifle certain kinds of creativity, but they also encourage it at the same time.
Through the course of the sessions, we learned about each part of the city and how it works. And by the time we got to the budgeting session, we learned about the different priorities, and that really, I think, helps when you're thinking about budgeting. What are our priorities? Are they this, this, and this? So I think it was best to do it at the end because we had a better overall grasp of how the city works.
One of my favorite takeaways from the academy is that now I walk through Missoula differently, and I've always considered myself an engaged citizen. But now I'm an engaged, maybe a quarter of the way knowledgeable, a lot more to learn, but I look at things differently. The parks, the police, the people in leadership. I come to more city council meetings. I go to committee of the whole meetings. I'm much more engaged and interested, and that is because of the academy.
I think this needs to be an annual program, and I'd love to see that matriculate into being a kind of a regular type of program, as long as you can get people interested. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there was quite a bit of interest in this program for the first go around. I just think the more ways you can get people involved and engaged, the better.
The structure of this Citizens Academy would be great in other cities. I think even when you think about the urban-rural divide, my dad lives in Red Lodge, Montana, and visiting him, I know they have a mayor and a city council, and it's just much different. There's, I think, 3,000, 5,000 people in Red Lodge, and there's 75,000 here. So, you're just dealing in order of magnitude larger, and that would, of course, present different challenges. But I still think that residents of Red Lodge, Montana would benefit from having a deeper engagement with how the city does things.
If you don't complain, the city is not gonna know anything is wrong, and thus not address your problem or your question.
It is not unreasonable to disagree. It is unreasonable to scream and be disagreeable.
Part of how you sell future academies is that you'll meet people, your neighbors, in a new way, and you'll have this sort of secret kind of fight club look about you. Hey, Academy.
What I believe right now, institutions as well as just the city, is the more we engage people, the better we will be.